Welcome, guys. This is Javier with CMI Mechanical, and we are a national HVAC and refrigeration company helping solve problems throughout the United States when it comes to HVAC and refrigeration. You're listening to Facility and Property Management Secrets Radio. I'm your host, Javier, obviously, and basically what I've got today is I got a special guest. His name is Bruce Condit from Connex. He's from the great state of Texas and my beloved Dallas Cowboys. And so I'm actually a little jealous that you're out there because you get to have Dallas Cowboy news. And so basically, Bruce Condit is the VP of Communications, Public Affairs, and Marketing for Connex, which essentially, if you boil up in a nutshell, it's everything that you see, hear, or understand about Connex and the facility management world. And so, Bruce, you want to kind of introduce yourself a little bit and tell us a little bit more about yourself and what you're doing?
Hey, thank you, Javier. I appreciate the opportunity to talk to your audience here and appreciate the invite to be on your show. And also the fact you're a Dallas Cowboys fan helps. I wouldn't do this with anybody from Philly, but that works since you're a Cowboys fan.
Yep.
But, I joined Connex about 4 years ago in the VP of Marketing and Communications. And my background's fairly diverse. I've done PR marketing for telecommunications companies, aerospace. I was the director of PR for Peterbilt Motors Company for about a year and a half. I worked for investment bankers for a couple of years and high-tech companies for a few years. So a very diverse background across all different types of communications, marketing, trade shows, and that type of thing. And that's kind of what brought me to Connex, is I like the programs that Connex offers to the facility managers and to the suppliers, and it kind of takes all of my different talents and pools them all together into one spot and allows me to use that to serve our members. And I think that's the main thing that we're trying to do. And we've had some pretty significant changes around Connex lately. As you know, our former name was Prism, PRSM.
Yep.
And with our board of directors decided, after they had a strategic consultant come in and lay out like a 4-year plan runs through 2023, that one thing we needed to do is kind of change the course of the organization. And I think a lot of people didn't understand, why do we change names? Well, our board began by just looking at the name of the organization, which was established in 1995. It has served our membership extremely well for almost 25 years.
Yeah.
That's no problems, with what that name has actually done. But they started looking at the different parts of that name professional. We assume that everybody in the industry is a professional. Retail was kind of limiting. We were limited primarily just working with retail stores and retail suppliers and things like that. Where stores, kind of limits you on that end. And in maintenance, well, we also discovered that a very large percentage of our members, they really don't care for the word maintenance because it kind of puts them into a little slot of whether it's cleaning or something that's kind of lower level, or really most of our people are in management. So then what we did was, about a year or so ago, we did a very extensive membership needs survey where we contacted over 100 of our members and talked to them on the phone and did a lot of research to determine what was the number one benefit. Why did they like belonging to Prism? And the number one thing that came out was the ability to connect with other members.
Okay.
And share information and solve problems and just get together and figure out, how do we take this industry to the next level? So from that basis, they began to look at connections, they looked at about probably 30 or 40 different types of names and things that they could actually call the organization. When they finally got through with it, one of the things the agency recommended was Connex, with CONNEX. And that's what we settled on because it kind of symbolizes what we try to do is connect we connect retailers to retailers, suppliers to suppliers, so that they can figure out how to solve problems and do a better job.
Yeah. No, and I was at the trade show in Denver for your national conference in April. That was a big deal for our company to do that. And when the announcement came out, it was kind of, everyone was almost kind of like taken aback, if you will. So I can imagine how like challenging that was to kind of prepare all that stuff. But I see the vision because, as you probably understand too, is being in marketing communications, the name of your company should also dictate like what you do, where you're moving to, and what everything else. There should be lots of things involved in that. So changing the name of a company is not an easy thing. There's a lot of branding, but there's also a lot of almost convincing, if that makes sense, you know?
Exactly. And another thing our board wanted to do with that strategic vision was take Prism beyond the retail walls, is what we like to say.
Yeah.
But really, you begin to look, you know, a box is a box is a box, whether it's a retail box. So what it also did was open it up, and there's a few other, some people call them industries, but actually we consider them also just different types of retailers. There's healthcare.
Yeah.
Now you dock in the box on every corner, and vision care. You have, and under the healthcare umbrella, we have dental, vision, orthopedic clinics. Anybody has a multi-site location type system would fit into the Connex family.
Yep.
So we're looking at healthcare. We're also looking at entertainment. That covers everything from your Chuck E. Cheese, who's already a member of the Main Event, Top Golf, movie theaters, bowling alleys. We think there's huge opportunity in bowling alleys because we have some people that work for Connex that used to work for the Bowling Association. One thing they noticed when they were there was nothing in those shows to address maintenance of those buildings. And so we're going to look at that. So it's healthcare, entertainment, and also looking at growing our financial members. And that covers everything from banks to check cashing to anybody else that has to manage everything to do with money. Yeah. So changing our name also allowed us to expand our universe of potential members and expand that. And that's going to help the suppliers like yourself, because now instead of just having retailers to talk to, you will have healthcare companies, you'll have entertainment companies, you'll have financial companies that you can talk to and get more sales.
Yeah. And that makes complete sense that you actually say that, because, you know, the name Prism is very, you know, specific to one thing, but then now all of a sudden you're opening up new opportunities, and vendors as myself, you know, now we're seeing like, oh, wow. And this is stuff that I didn't even know, that you guys were actually going to go after some of these other industries, if you will, to get more members a part of the organization, which is exciting on both ends, exciting for your company, but also exciting as a vendor because it allows us to potentially get new business, you know, and that's what we're trying to do. So next thing I want to kind of discuss too is there's this whole, you know, future of retail, and everyone's freaking out, you know, with stores closing. I mean, it was scary whenever Toys R Us closed and then Payless closed, and there's a lot of things going on. And so how do you guys see the future of retail? How can you almost put a positive spin to retail, and what do you guys, you know, see in that?
Well, I think the rumor of retail's death is largely exaggerated.
Yep. I agree with that.
Matter of fact, the National Retail Federation put out one just a couple of weeks ago saying that actually last year there was, I forget how many more stores opened than actually closed.
Really?
So we're not in any type of a negative decline with the number of stores that's actually out there.
Okay.
I think what we're seeing is just like I just noticed a minute ago, Lord & Taylor, one of the oldest retailers in the United States, just got bought out by a 7-year-old company.
Wow. That's huge.
Yeah, so what they're going to probably do is they're going to transform that store. So what we see at Connex is the opportunity in the retail side is going to be with these new, not necessarily startups. I mean, you look at, you know, some people laugh when you bring this up. There was an article from Canada this morning about a cannabis dealer that's getting ready to open 50 new stores.
Yep.
So the business is exploding now. You see that healthcare, you see that retail.
It's not your traditional retail that's kind of exploding.
Exactly.
It's new retail that's going into the market. Would you agree?
Yes, you have that new retail going into the market, but then also, as we saw yesterday, Target announced that they're going to vastly expand their number of small stores that's in the small store format. They're doing that for a couple of reasons. First of all, to get more into the urban centers of the major cities. And a lot of people say, oh, they're opening a store. But really, when they think about it, they're opening a distribution center, because they want to be, if you order something from Target, they don't want to have somebody from 20 miles out in the suburbs trying to drive that into downtown Chicago or Dallas or wherever you may be.
Yep.
If they get a store that's on the fringe of that urban area, they can hit those apartments and be there in 30 minutes.
And it's interesting you say that. We have in Denver, we have one on 16th Street Mall, which is a very populated urban area, and I'm like, this is a genius idea by Target.
I think this all started with our favorite company called Amazon.
Yes.
And when Amazon bought Whole Foods, I was joking with some friends of mine, and then actually met an individual that worked for Whole Foods not long ago, and he actually confirmed this theory. I said, does Amazon really, not that they don't care, but does Amazon really put a lot of pressure on Whole Foods to make a huge profit? And he said, where are you going with this? And I said, well, my theory was when Amazon bought Whole Foods, they bought prime locations in every urban market, pretty much in the United States, right down in the middle of everything, so that they could get a hub for their delivery of all the rest of their products that they were selling. And he goes, yep. He says, as long as our stores are clean and work well and provide good products and break even, he said, Amazon's happy to use this kind of as a distribution center. So I think what you're seeing is these other retailers are figuring that out, and Target's kind of the underdog that nobody pays any attention to. But yet they're really moving out there and doing a lot of really unique things. And from a facilities management standpoint, companies like yourself might say, well, why do we care? We've got a contract with Target already, or we do something like that.
Yeah.
But in the magazine, which Connex produces, and I'm responsible for, we're going to explore next year in one of our magazines the new store formats. And these are stores that either don't store any products, they just have them on display, and you come in and you order them, and they ship it to you the next day or get it to you that afternoon. Or those stores are literally like a distribution center to get the products out there. Well, that's an entirely different scenario from a facilities manager who's used to managing a 50,000 square foot, Target, to go down to a 10,000 square foot urban center, that he's going to have to manage, because that changes. And also now in the past, these major retailers have always been standalone buildings.
Yep.
Well, now you're probably going to be a tenant inside of another building. So that throws another whole wrinkle in there. And that's where Connex kind of comes in to try to help the retailers and help the suppliers, because we can get the retailers together. They can share ideas. Hey, Bill, how did you solve that problem? Susie, we know you just moved into this urban area. What was the regulations you ran into with facilities? How do you find an AC guy to work in downtown at 2:00 in the morning? Those types of things. Or how do you get around all the different, you have a lot of different obstacles in all of these industries. In healthcare, you're having to deal with HIPAA. You're having to deal with very sophisticated, expensive equipment.
Yep. And
cleaning is totally different. But the basic box, as far as our members are concerned, is still the same. You got to keep it clean, comfortable, and safe.
Yeah.
And that's the main mission of our members, and that's what we try to communicate in our messages and through our magazines and our newsletters and things like that. We try to keep our members updated on, hey, Lord & Taylor just got purchased, and as your supplier, if you've been doing work for Lord & Taylor and you get this headline this morning, you go, wow, is my contract going to go away? What's going to happen?
It's only going to get better.
Yeah, it's going to get better. Exactly. Or on the other side, I think it's probably some of our members question about why we put about retailers or other businesses opening new stores. Well, if you're a supplier, that's where your growth should be coming from.
Yes. If
there's new stores opening, you should be contacting those people to see how you can help them.
Exactly. And it's interesting that you're bringing this stuff up, because, my next question kind of following through is what can we expect from Connex down the road? I mean, you've already kind of talked about the industries that you guys are bringing into Connex that you're kind of tapping into. And then now you're helping a lot of these facility managers to essentially adapt to this new retail, if you will, with the distribution model, if that makes sense. And is there anything else that we can kind of see that you're okay revealing that you can see that Connex is going to be offering as benefits for other companies?
Well, one thing very specifically that we're getting into is, as you know, a very high percentage of retailers now offer some type of food service inside their store. I mean, whether it's a coffee shop over in the corner, a sandwich shop, a little diner, all the way up to some of these now have full-blown, almost formal dining rooms that you can go into, and they want you to stay there. So that presents a new opportunity, a new challenge for our facility managers, also an opportunity for Connex. And what we've been going to do in some of our national shows is we're going to have a space on our show floor where we'll have people who are there that do suppliers for cleaning vent hoods, for servicing that type of restaurant equipment, for those specific things that deal with food service. Not that we're trying to get in the restaurant business, but our retailers are getting in the restaurant business.
Yes.
So if retailers are moving into the restaurant business, we got to provide them the tools to manage that.
Yep.
So that's one change you're going to see. The other change you're going to see is we're going to begin actively marketing to the healthcare market, to the entertainment market, and to the financial market to try to attract these retailers in. And I think what we're going to see is It's a lot like when Prism first started 25 years ago. A lot of people don't know the history. Prism actually started at Specs, which is a construction show. I actually heard a gentleman from Brinko tell the story last week.
Okay.
He said we were all sitting at this construction show. We actually went to the show and said, hey, why don't you have any education sessions about maintenance? That's what we do. We get involved in construction, but we're not actually the ones running construction projects. And so they basically got ignored. So they all got together and said, hey, we just need to form our own organization that deals with maintenance.
Yeah.
That's where Prism was born.
Yeah.
I think that's what you're going to see is we're trying to get ahead of the game here.
Yeah.
Hey, we want to help you if you're because you look at healthcare, they have very unique qualifications and things they have to have done. You look at entertainment. I would imagine maintaining a Topgolf location is a whole lot different than maintaining, a Sears store or a Target.
Yes, I totally agree. And the thing is that, as you're realizing too, and I brought this up, is retail is shifting. I mean, I talked about this the other day that, Nike and Foot Locker, you guys posted this in one of your newsletters, creating a mega store, if you will. And all these things is just shifting because we're trying to create a better consumer experience. And in my opinion, I kind of give that to like Amazon because they invented this whole one-click shopping, and consumers have these certain expectations, and now retailers have to adapt to get people into their stores, into their places. And what you guys are doing is you're helping people basically adapt to these shifts, if you will, and which is amazing. And it's great to see that you guys are looking to recruit more, if that makes sense, into Connex, which is exciting,
Because what we've seen in some of these other industries is they are like the retail FMs of the past. They don't have a home.
Yeah.
We're going to provide them a home. So come to us and we will help. And the main thing we find, like, gets back to our naming, is help them connect with each other.
Yep.
Because when you really boil it down, it's not, we've had serious retailers say, this isn't a competitive advantage. Anybody can go buy this AC unit. Anybody can clean the same way that I clean. It's not going to really provide you a competitive advantage. So it's not like a top secret thing that Nike created or something like that.
Yep.
But it's sharing that information. I think that's the key benefit of being a member of Connex, is being able to get information from people that are in a similar situation and help you solve the problems that you've got. And that's what we're trying to do, is take Connex to that next step, so that suppliers like yourself will know, hey, if I want to go try to get a contract with a healthcare company, here's the 6 things I need to be on the lookout for, that I need to be prepared for. Are my employees HIPAA certified? Do they know where they can and cannot go?
Yep.
How do I deal with this particular entity to make sure that I make this a successful, efficient, cost-effective contract that I'm putting out there and able to compete with those who've been doing it?
Yeah, it makes complete sense. That's awesome. It's exciting.